Asra Ninetales. I'll be 100% straight with you. I've seen a bunch of the Asra kits, and I'm not fully sure if they're all the same character. Complete admission here, I don't actually know anything about Megami device, but many of them have absolutely stunning artworks and are interesting looking kits, which is why I have a bunch of them, and over time they'll be popping out at random. As for this one, what drew me in was not only the box art, but the colour combination of armour and gear. Purple and white is my absolute favourite colour combination, and to top it off, it's made by Kotobukiya, so that's plenty enough points for me to check them out. Selling for anywhere between 100 to 150 Australian dollars, I believe you get the quality and enjoyment for your money's worth, but just note that some of the pieces are fairly fiddly, so it may not be for you. Now I am fairly sad with the end results of this build. With all of my kits varying across different interests and manufacturers, I always use AK Interactive's decal adapter and haven't once come across any issues with it, even on Zoid's kits. So when I spent hours doing all of the decals on this build, only for them to not only not adhere to any surfaces, but also not accept being clear coated in place, I was beyond disappointed. I'm not sure why this one particular kit resisted the adapter, but it's actually prompted me to have a look further into it before I do any more of these Megami kits. But enough negativity for the moment. Overall, this model is brilliantly designed and fantastically modular. With a bunch of extra parts and interchangeable ideas, you can toy around with her and come up with your own design. The only issue outside of the decals I had was the chest section having poor stability in the shoulders and breast sections, which can't really be glued as it ruins the ability to change out parts. Like the Luma T model I did previously, this one starts you off by making all of her basic character pieces, which you will then later dismantle if you want to build her armor forms and so forth. So it's good if you don't mind changing the armor and the bits and pieces every now and then while it's on display, but if you rarely touch them once they're done, such as I do, you'll be wasting your time building the pieces you won't use. Having a quick flip through the booklet, when I spotted this, I decided to play the bounce between the pages game and see how long it actually takes to build her, just as the armored version, without having to the other pieces first. And I'm convinced that it takes longer, so just build from page 1 anyway, and store the extra stuff later on. As for the sprues, which there are an absolute chunk of, you will need a fairly large building area, and your progress through the build doesn't really eliminate many of them from your workspace, until you get fairly late into the build. Also be aware that there are a few instances of some sprues having the same letter designation, but they're completely different, so familiarizing yourself with the layout and colors early will speed things up. At the post build, I did actually circle back to see how many extra things I could slap together and how many extra sprues I could get rid of before I went on to inking, and in this build I actually used a purple shade from Citadel Paints. And specifically that color was Druky Violet, which I think really makes it pop that little bit more. That's about it for my ramblings, I think, so for now, enjoy the rest of the build, and the finished result will be at the end. so you can probably spot a ton of missing decals and inconsistencies, and again, it's really disappointing that they didn't adhere. After this video, I'll more than likely be going through and removing them all, which does suck, but I may return at a later date to airbrush some stuff on her. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this one, and until next time, take it easy.